Okay, so welcome to the future of iOS apps design. Hello everybody, this is me, Alexandre Freire, and in these 15-minute presentations, we are gonna travel to the future. But first, let me tell you what's SwiftUI. SwiftUI is a framework to build user interfaces in Apple ecosystems. But I prefer to say that it is a new revolutionary way to build and design better apps faster. And I think that the best way to show you SwiftUI is to see it in action. Today's theme of the Tech Day is Moon to Mars. So let's jump into Xcode and prototype a sticker for today's Tech Day. So let's begin by adding a new Moon to Mars view. We can tap this resume button in here and double click this hello world text and type Moon to Mars. Cool. As you can see on the left side in the code, it has been automatically updated. This also happens on SwiftUI. So let's continue by adding a new text, tapping this plus button, searching the text view, and drag and dropping in there. So as you can see, depending on where you put it, it will create a different layout. If you look at the code, both texts have been embedded in a V stack, aka vertical stack. We have also H stack for horizontal ones and Z stack for depth ones. Cool. Previously, we modified the string directly in the preview, but this time, let's do it in the code. So let's go in here and type Tech Day 4. Awesome. We can start to customize those texts. So we can open the inspector from both the preview side and from the code side. And I actually prefer this second one because it works better. So let's start by changing the font. Let's say title in here, bold, and you can see how in the preview, the preview is automatically updated. Let's do the same with the second one. Let's use caption here and bold. Okay, preview is updated in real time. And we can also open the inspector of the V stack to add some spacing or to align the text to the right or to the left. And also we can give it a specific size. For example, this one. But, you know, currently we cannot see the size very well. So let's add a background color. Let's open the inspector again, search for the background modifier, and just type color.blue in here. Awesome. But now the text color doesn't look great. So I'm going to open the inspector of the first one, and I'm going to search for the foreground color modifier. This is for modifying the text color. And for the second text, this is going to be a kind of a tag. So I'm going to add a bunch of modifiers all at once. So first, the foreground color. Then I'm going to add a little bit of padding in here and the background color as well, as easy as that. So for the text color, I'm going to use midnight. And for the background color, I'm going to use color.white. Cool. Okay, the tag seems too big for me. So I'm going to reduce the padding. So I'm going to go in here and select only 4. Yeah, much better. And, you know, I love corner radius. So I'm going to add a little bit of corner radius as well. Boom, perfect. But the sticker still looks very boring, you know? So let's exchange this blue background color with an image. We can do that by embedding the V stack in a Z stack and move, of course, the modifiers to the Z stack in that way. So we have the same thing that we had previously, and we can now add the image. Oops. So we can have the image in there. Okay, so the image is called Moon to Mars. It is a huge image, so I'm going to resize it and use the correct aspect ratio. Like that. Awesome. And last but not least, I want to add a card style. So I'm going to add a corner radius and a custom shadow. So this time I'm going to do it in code directly. So I'm going to type corner radius in here. I'm going to use 8 this time. And for the shadow, I'm going to create a custom one. I'm going to use color.black, but you know, black is too strong. So I'm going to use an opacity 0.5, for example, and set the radius. And I set the shadow that comes from the top. And you can see here our sticker. Very fast and very easy, right? So you have seen the power of Live Preview tool. And dude, this tool is awesome. Not only because you can drag and drop views and you can see the code changes directly in real time, but also because you can have multiple previews at once. So let me use our buttons as an example. Here, we can not only see at a glance all its possible states, like the default, the loading, or the disabled one, but we can even interact with them. And we can tap them and see how the colors changes when we tap the buttons. And have you said something about dark mode? That's not a problem in SwiftUI, because we can duplicate the preview and open the preview inspector and just select the dark color scheme. And there you go, our buttons in dark mode. And if the button example is not enough to sell you live previews, let me show you the Crosstalk component. So here we can see the multiple variants of the same component. The exclusive offers theme versus the default one, with or without an icon, with or without the CTA, etc. And just let me show you the Crosstalk component, how the Crosstalk component looks like in Xcode in the current interface builder. This is the interface builder, the design tool for developers. And believe it or not, this is the same Crosstalk component that we saw in the previous slide. Here, you cannot see anything. And in order to see if it looks good in all its possible states, the developer would need to create an incredible amount of code. And of course, compile over and over again, and the result is lots of hours lost. So at this point, you might be asking yourself, is SwiftUI a silver bullet? And you know, SwiftUI looks like magic, but it is still very young and it's not very flexible at the moment and has a limited API. But Apple is improving it at yearly pace, and we will start adopting it strategically and carefully as we believe that this is the future. And speaking about the future, let's make a trip to that future. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Alex from the future, a little bit older, as you can see. And here in the future, the iOS team has spent some time porting all the design system components into SwiftUI. But more interestingly, the design team has stopped using abstract, framer, and that other kind of tools, and they now prototype the iOS app directly in Xcode and SwiftUI. Do you want to see how? So a demo from the future. Product picker. Okay, we all know about this. It's some time in the future, and it's almost January. So we are starting to prepare the January planning stuff with some cool exclusive offers. So the designer, instead of prototyping the new design in abstract, opens Xcode, taps on this little plus button, search the Crosstalk component, selects the exclusive offers one, and drags and drop it there. And it doesn't look great, but he wants to add a little bit of padding. Boom. Much better. And now it's just a matter of changing the copy, for example, and in this case, remove the optional link and the optional icon. There you go. But you know, we want to suggest some cool stuff to our lovely users. And we want to use a carousel for that. So we want to drag and drop a carousel to the bottom of this preview, and that's it. We have the carousel. And when we hit the play button, this product picker is ready to use, ready to interact, and ready to example map. But in the future, designers are still very tired of my usual question, hey, dude, this looks amazing, but how does it look in smaller screens? And that's very simple for them. They can just simply duplicate the preview and open the inspector and select the device they want. For example, iPhone SE. And there you go. You have the product picker in a smaller screen. Cool. And what about dark mode? So they can just, again, duplicate the preview and modify it in the inspector the color scheme. And there you go. You have the product picker in dark mode, ready to use and ready to interact with. And I almost forget, but at this point in the future, we also have a prototype of one Mac app. So we can select the Mac OS target, hit the play button, and you can see here the prototype of the Mac app. Thank you very much.
Nailed it.
Awesome.
Boom.
Thank you, guys. Questions?